Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto bread recipe for you. Today we are going to make super simple Keto Tex-Mex cornbread. And if you want a printable version of these recipes, you can check out my website at janetsdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Line an 8 by 8 inch cake pan with parchment paper and allow the paper to hang over the side just a little bit so you can have easy removal of the bread once it's done baking. Then set that aside for a minute. Chop 3 to 4 whole canned baby corns into small pieces, then place them into a small food processor and process for around 20 to 30 seconds or until the corn is mushy and your desired consistency. I like to leave a tiny bit of little lumps in there because I think it makes the texture of the dough more like traditional cornbread dough. But if you want it completely pureed, you can do that. It should come out to around 52 grams or about a 1/4 cup of the puree. It's okay if it's a little bit over or under. You just don't want too much because you don't want to mess up the consistency of your dough. Once your corn's pureed, just set that aside for just a minute. In a large mixing bowl, combine 112 grams or around 1 cup of coconut flour, 15 grams or around 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 13 grams or around 2 tablespoons of golden flaxseed meal. This is just going to help the texture of your dough be a little bit closer to the cornmeal texture that traditional cornbread is consistent of. Add 100 grams or around a 1/2 cup of the brown sugar sweetener of your choice. I'm using brown monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever brown sugar sweetener you want. You can also adjust this more or less depending on how sweet you want your cornbread. Also, if you prefer to use granulated sweetener rather than the brown sugar sweetener, that's fine too. It does give a slightly different taste. The brown sugar sweetener has a little bit more of a kind of a mapley type taste, and in my opinion, it makes the bread have more of a sweet corn taste than the granulated sweetener. The brown sugar sweetener also has more moisture in it, so it helps keep the bread a little bit softer than granulated sweetener. But again, if all you have is granulated sweetener, it'll work just fine and it'll still taste yummy. Add 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and if you want to, you can add some dry seasonings of your choice. I like to use a dry seasoning blend that's basically kind of a dry taco seasoning blend. It's a 1/2 teaspoon each of dry oregano, chili powder, dry paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. Sift this all together until everything is fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 4 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they stir in more smooth. Stir the eggs into the dry ingredients until everything is fully combined and all the dry ingredients are moist. Add a 1/2 cup of butter that's been melted and cooled. Make sure it is cooled. You do not want to add hot butter. Stir the butter in until everything is fully combined. Add 60 grams or around a 1/4 cup of room temperature plain yogurt or sour cream. Again, make sure this is room temperature. As I always tell you, room temperature ingredients makes for a smoother dough, which makes for a lighter bread. Stir the yogurt or the sour cream in until everything is fully combined. Add your reserved 52 grams of the baby corn puree. And if you want to, you can add up to 1 tablespoon of sweet corn or cornbread extract. This is optional. I like to add this because it makes the bread taste more like traditional Tex-Mex cornbread. Stir everything all together until everything is fully combined and you have a smooth, soft dough that has formed. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the dough to the center of the bowl. Form the dough into a smooth ball. Then massage the dough in your hands for about 20 to 30 seconds. This is just to make sure you have the right texture of dough. It's very important to make sure that your texture is correct when you are using coconut flour. So your dough should be holding together really well. It should be very lightly moist and soft. It should not be sticking to your hands. If it is, that means it's a little too wet and you need to just add a tiny bit more coconut flour. And if it seems like the dough is not coming together and it feels dry, or you got pieces that keep falling off, then you need to add just a little bit of warm water or room temperature milk of your choice. Once you have the right texture, form the dough back into a ball and place it back into your mixing bowl. Then use a wooden spoon and break the dough ball up just a little bit. Add 2 to 4 ounces of canned diced chilies that have been fully drained. You can use more or less depending on how spicy you want your Tex-Mex bread. I just use mild chilies. It's up to you how spicy you want your bread. Fold the chilies in until they are fully combined and evenly distributed throughout the dough. Also, just a heads up, whenever you are handling chilies or any other type of spicy foods, make sure that you either wear cooking gloves or immediately after you're done handling the chilies that you wash your hands immediately, because you don't want to forget that you have chili residue on your fingers and then accidentally rub your eye or touch your face and then be in pain. Gradually add 21 grams or around a 1/4 cup of shredded mozzarella or pepper jack cheese, or any shredded cheese that you want. Fold it in until the cheese is fully combined and evenly distributed. Add another 21 grams or around a 1/4 cup of shredded Colby or shredded cheddar cheese, or again, whatever cheese you'd like. Fold the cheese in again until it is fully combined and evenly distributed throughout the dough. Now you can adjust the amount of cheese. If you want a little bit more, you can put a little bit more in there. Just don't go too crazy with the cheese, because if you put too much in there, it's going to affect the texture of your dough. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the dough to the center of the bowl. Then again, form your dough into a ball. Place the dough ball into your prepared cake pan. Then use your hands or the back of a measuring cup and press the dough evenly throughout the pan. Make sure you get it as even as possible and keep the top of it nice and smooth. Once the dough is spread evenly, place it into your preheated oven and bake at 350 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes, or until the bread is golden and a tester comes out clean. Once the bread is done baking, remove it from the oven. Allow the bread to cool in the pan for about 30 minutes so that it can continue cooking and so it can firm up. After about 30 minutes and the bread is firm, grasp the overhanging parchment paper and very carefully remove the bread from the pan and transfer it to a wire rack. Be careful when you're doing this. The bread will still be warm, and gluten-free baked goods are always fragile when they are warm, so carefully remove it. Then allow the bread to cool completely before slicing it. Once the bread is cooled, you can slice the bread into your desired size piece. If you want to, you can put it on a napkin and pop it in the microwave for about 15 to 20 seconds to get some warmth to it. That's up to you if you like warm or room temperature bread. Also, if you want to, you can top it with some butter or some keto honey. That's, again, up to you. You can eat this immediately, or if you do have any leftovers, store it in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 3 days, or in an airtight container in your refrigerator up to 5 days. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.